It's midday. Good afternoon, Ghana. Hello, world. Welcome to Midday Live on TV3. This is our News Hub Studios here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. We're live on DSTV channel 279, also live on 3news.com. My name is Noble Crosby, and coming up in the next 60 minutes. In the bulletin, the majority caucus in Parliament says the minority and the Speaker of Parliament breached provisions of the Constitution and standing orders of the House in rejecting the 2022 budget. Also coming up, the CSO's budget forum wants government to provide a roadmap on the implementation of its Agenda 111. We'll take you to the foreign front, where countries around the world race to introduce travel bans and restrictions on Southern African countries in an effort to contain a new variant of COVID-19 called Omicron. We have the details of these stories, plus sports and entertainment shortly. Please stay with us. You're welcome to the program. Let's start off with this. The majority caucus in Parliament has asked Ghanaians to disregard reports concerning the rejection of the 2022 budget by Parliament. Now, according to the minority in a statement, the action by the Speaker is illegal and must be treated with the contempt it deserves. A statement from the majority said the act of the minority and the decision of the Speaker to endorse it constitute an unconstitutionality and an illegality and should be disregarded as same as void and of no effect whatsoever. The statement continues to say that the majority assures the good people of Ghana of their resolute willingness to ensure that the 1992 Constitution is respected to the latter by the Speaker, Gbagben, and the minority. This follows disagreement over a directive by the Speaker of Parliament, Agwin Gbagben, for non-MPs to vacate the chamber following a request for a division. After voice votes in the House, Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Payne-Omarkin challenged the Speaker's interpretation of the voice votes and called for the division. The majority in the statement argued that the action of the minority and the Speaker of Parliament breaches provisions of the Constitution and standing orders of the House. Now, a private legal practitioner, Justice Abdullah, has refuted claims that the rejection of the 2022 budget decision pronounced on the floor of Parliament by the minority is null and void. He believes that the decision can still stand.
You know, it is not null and void. A decision has been taken. That is correct, and that has to be accepted. Now, as to the effect of that decision or the constitutionality or otherwise, I think that is a matter that can be discussed and determined subsequently. At this moment, you cannot wish away the fact of the decision having been taken. You may have issues with the constitutionality of it, but that is a matter that you'd have to raise. And the processes of raising that and even getting a change, assuming you are right, is where the problem lies. My point is that this whole drama that unfolded and the event that would unfold going forward from Tuesday make it even worse for all of us. The meaning of half of the members present, is it the case that you're referring to the actual time of the voting? Or, for instance, could you also argue that it's actually the time that the motion was put? Or was actually just after the voting? Because after the voting, you can have different numbers. It is very difficult, Jiva, let me be honest with you on this, that a person who was signed in as president, who was seen in the House of Parliament, captured on video and everything else, but decided for whatever reason to walk out at the time the voting was taking place, to say that that person wasn't present. They probably didn't take part in the voting. That I agree. But would your absence from voting amount to not being present? I don't think that's a yes.
Well, as we wait for the showdown on Tuesday between the majority and minority members of Parliament, our parliamentary correspondent Komla Kluche has joined us in the studio for a conversation on the back of what happened in Parliament yesterday. Komla, you're welcome. Paint a picture for us on what happened yesterday before the votes.
Okay, so let me start it from where the House got delayed from the normal time that the House sits. The House was supposed to sit at 10 a.m. We got there minutes before the 10 a.m. We realized, or we heard that the two caucuses, that's both the majority and the minority, have been in their caucus meetings. But shortly after that, we saw the minority guys walked into the chamber in their numbers, almost all of them. And when it was midday, just about 7 minutes after midday, then the Ningo Pram MP came and held a press conference where he was asking the whereabouts of the majority members. This was at 12, and mind you, the House was supposed to start at 10 a.m. but they had not reported. We picked up indications that they were also in a caucus meeting at the time, but shortly after Sam George had addressed the press, then the majority chief whip Frank Anodompre came and then responded to the press conference by the minority and stated that yes, they had sought audience with the speaker for the caucus meeting, which they were going through at the time,
which was delaying
proceedings, which was what was delaying the proceedings. Then around 1:15 thereabout, the speaker walks into the chamber and then realizes that the majority side was not there. Then the speaker took a 30-minute suspension, and the 30-minute suspension spanned well over 2 hours. Speaker returned again. By the time he returned, now the majority members had come into the chamber.
So we're looking at around 3 p.m.
thereabouts. Then the speaker made it clear that he was not informed of the majority caucus meeting. It came to him as a surprise. He has heard that the chief whip of the majority is indicating that they had told him. He was not told of anything, and that had passed before they came into it. And when they started, then the issue about the majority leader and the minority leader, which was the main agenda actually for yesterday, preceding the approval, is what was expected. The majority leader and the minority leader had to have their debate, which is the finality of everything, before the speaker would put the
that generated some sort of drama in Parliament.
There was some protestation from the majority leader, who said that the Minister of Finance had come to the House and then prayed that the speaker would grant audience to him to be able to have a discussion with the leadership of the House. And ordinarily, well, what was expected was just for the two leaders to conclude their debate, and then the speaker will put a question. The minority resisted this. At the end of the day, speaker declined that invitation by the majority leader to have the minority.
We have footage of the drama you're talking about. Let's play that for viewers to see.
It is not null and void. A decision has been.
Those against, say no. Honorable members, I think the noes have it. Honorable members, if we have a non-member of parliament seated here, I have the power under the orders to call on the marshal to get the person out of the house. Honorable members, honorable members, may I honorable members resume your seats.
Parliament for the good people of Impraiso. Yes, if Asiedu Ketia doesn't work out of this chamber, nothing will go. Asiedu Ketia is not going anywhere. Asiedu Ketia is not going anywhere today. Asiedu Ketia.
So those were some sights and scenes from Parliament yesterday. Komla Kluche is still here with me. Komla, so after the Speaker asked that non-members should leave the floor, the majority also wanted Asiedu Ketia to leave the gallery of Parliament. What other demands did the Deputy Leader make? Okay,
so let me put this into the proper perspective as to what necessitated this. When the Speaker put the question on the request, and this was a prayer, you know, after the majority leader and the minority leader concluded their debate, the Speaker gave the opportunity to the finance minister to come and then make a submission, if you like, an injury time submission to either convince or otherwise members of the House. And then when they did that, he was praying also that the House would give him an opportunity to meet with the leaders and then they have a conversation regarding the disagreement. Already, mind you, this is the very first time that the House has not had consensus on the budget. So he needed to have a further engagement with them. So after he had done it, then the Speaker said, okay, it's not for him to take the decision, and that he was going to put the question to the House. So this specifically was to for members to decide whether the leadership of the House should engage the Minister of Finance further before the question is put on the main motion itself, which is the budget. So after this, when the Speaker had put the question, and then they said all those in favor say yeah, those who were not in favor of it should say no. Then the Speaker said the decision, what he had, his
from the voice
discretion
vote.
From the voice vote, the noes have it, which the Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Penyo-Markins rose to his feet and said, and he challenged it. But per the standing orders, if he challenges it, the Speaker is obliged to give him an ear by hearing him, because he will come under a specific order in the standing orders. And then he was calling for division, and with a division, it permits that if you are not a member of the House, if it comes to voting and then it comes to the division, you wouldn't be allowed to. By that, what it means is that they will have to, those who are members of the House would stand,
if you are not a member of the House, will stand hearing means that they will be in the chamber itself.
Okay.
But if you are not, then the Speaker would either ask you to walk out. The Speaker's justification is that his orders was for any member hearing the Minister of Finance, his Minister of State responsible for finance, to move out of the chamber, which the majority was resisting and said, no, if you are asking our people to go, then Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who is the General Secretary of the NDC and also a board member of the Parliamentary Service Board, should also walk out. But he was at the public gallery, and this was what infuriated them and then caused the whole issue.
Right.
And then they staged the walkout.
Okay, let's again listen to the Speaker's question on the voice vote that necessitated the reaction from the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Penyomaki.
Ordinarily, as Speaker, it is my duty to put the question on the motion. But you may recall that the Honourable Majority Leader had earlier on put in a request for the Minister of Finance to make a prayer, which request I put before the House. Given where we were in the process, it was not within my power to just grant that prayer without the leave of the House. And it is that leave I was seeking. Seeking the leave of the House has resulted in the disorder we just witnessed. And so I kept on trying to get them to understand that they should pass their concerns to their leaders, so that I give the opportunity for the leaders to articulate why there was that disorder in that part of the House. I did not get it until they started moving out. And later, a paper was passed on to me that they were insisting that the General Secretary of the NDC should leave the public gallery before the question is put. This is where we are now. I wasn't even given the opportunity to decide whether to let him be at the public gallery or not. I wasn't given that opportunity, and they walked out. So this is the stage we have reached. And the question is whether we should proceed now. As you know, for more time to do consultation with leaders of the House, and therefore not to put the question today, those in favor of that request, please stand out and be counted. Those against that request, please kindly stand up to be counted. So the noes have it, and the request is accordingly lost. Those in favor of the approval of motion number 11 on the order paper, who says, and I read, that this Honourable House approves the budget statement and economic policy of the government for the year ending 31st December 2022. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against the motion say no. Honourable members, clearly the noes have it. The motion is approved.
Well, this sets the stage for interesting happenings on Tuesday and the coming days on the 2022 budget presented by the Finance Minister. Komla, explain briefly to us the dynamics we saw in the video we just watched.
Okay, so with this one, the Speaker called for a first vote, and this was just after the majority had staged a walkout, and this, mind you, was based on the prayer by the Minister of Finance to have a further engagement with the leadership, what I termed in my own as an injury time engagement,
right.
Yes, which the House decided that they were going to subject to vote, led by the Speaker. Then, so because there was confusion and then a majority walked out, the option was for the Speaker. And even before the Speaker did this, the Speaker had suspended the House for 5 minutes. And the 5 minutes actually lasted, I think, almost about 12 minutes or so. And then he came back to put the question on it. He spoke extensively as to how he disagreed with a lot of things, but then he put the question finally. When he did, he said he wanted it to be captured in the records, because Parliament is a house of records, so that it is not challenged by voice vote stuff. So he asked them, if you are not in favor of the request by the Finance Minister to have the further engagement, stand up. So all the minority members stood up, and the Speaker asked the table officers, the clerks, to count all of them. When they counted, the record that was given to the Speaker was 137. Okay. That was how come he came to the conclusion that the request by the Finance Minister has been shot down. Then he proceeded now to the main subject matter, which is the motion on government's 2022 fiscal policy document, which he put the question. When he put the question that those in favor of the budget should say aye, there was a dead silence on that
because
side.
There was nobody there.
There was nobody there. Then those who were against it, they should say no, and the minority shouted in their numbers, and then they said yes, they did. But whilst all of this was going on, the majority who had walked out and addressed the press, then moved to their offices. They actually gathered in one of the leader's office, and they were monitoring everything. Held another press conference. And this, they responded to the specific orders that the Speaker based his actions on, and then said that all that the Speaker did was null and void. Let's hear Osei Mensah Bonsu speak extensively on this one.
A prayer by a minister to withdraw a document or to be allowed to state a position is denied by the Speaker. By this resort that, okay, I will not pronounce on it, let me put it to vote. It's not happened before. We are all living witnesses in this house. When has this happened? Be that as it may, he went ahead, did what he did in absence because we were not in the chamber. And then went ahead to state that the motion on the budget, as moved by the Minister of Finance on Wednesday, the 17th of November, is lost. That whole procedure was unconstitutional. As far as we are concerned, it's null and void. There's no binding effect on anybody. Now, we say so because, and so the motion on the budget, as far as we are concerned, has not been pronounced on by Parliament. It's still standing in the name of the Minister for Finance. And in the fullness of time, a properly constituted House, not one presided over by the Right Honourable Speaker, will make the decision. Now, out of mischief, the Speaker quoted Article 102 of the Constitution that, and I quote, a quorum of Parliament, apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3 of all members of Parliament. He was right. And the quorum is for the transaction of normal business. maybe statements are being made, no decision is being taken. So that one, that quoted number of 1/3 can listen to it. When it comes to decision making, it is not Article 102 that applies. It's Article 104 that comes into play. You recollect that yesterday the minority leader signaled that they are going to invoke Article 104. It was not for nothing. We thought the Speaker knows the fundamentals of the Constitution.
It's ignorant.
Now, what happened today involved a decision of the House. In that case, it is not Article 102. It is Article 104. He knows that at least 2 of them were not in the chamber. Why did he do that? In any event, even if we go with the 137 number, it's still less than 1/2 of the 275 member chamber. So, when he puts the question to 137, ab initio, the Speaker ought to have known that that number would not support the decision of the House.
Well, whether the decision of the Speaker remains effectual or invalid, we'll wait to see. Komla Kwechesia will make. Komla, what happens on Tuesday going forward?
Well, just like they have indicated that all that the Speaker did was null and void, it has no effect on the specific motion, which is the approval of the budget by the House. Well, it tells you that on Tuesday there's going to be a showdown. Showdown here in May is that the majority will come back maybe stronger. How they are going to come back, I do not know. Whether even indeed it will happen on the Tuesday itself, we are unaware. There's also news that got to us this morning that the Speaker is flying out of the country for medical check. So it means that Speaker Bagbin will not be in the chair for a period of days. As to whether that would also affect this another matter altogether, because if you are sitting into chair proceedings of the House, you don't have a vote.
You don't have a vote.
The first and the second deputy speakers belong to the majority side. So if, for instance, you say chairs it, he normally chairs if Speaker Bagbin is not there until there's a referral to the second deputy. If he chairs and they decide to come in their numbers, it means it will be 137. The NDC side would also be 137. As to how it's going to pan out is what we do not know yet, but it clearly tells you that this matter is not ended yet. They will drag it. In fact, from my sources, they tell me that once it is an illegality, and you can listen to that from the confidence of the majority leader that clearly the Speaker dealt them in, and so this is clearly some breach of the Constitution, which they will not take very likely.
We're right now seeing a hung Parliament in full force. Well, we'll see where that goes. Komla Kwechesia joined me in the studio for a conversation on the 2022 budget and the rejection or otherwise by the Speaker, by the minority and by the majority members in Parliament. Let's bring you more other stories where the CSO's Budget Forum wants government to provide a roadmap on the implementation of its Agenda 111. The forum, reacting on the 2022 budget, expressed worry on the dwindling investment into the health sector as reflected in the 2022 budget.
According to the CSO's forum, only 5% of the budgetary allocations will be invested into the health sector, a phenomenon they describe as woeful.
If we really mean to prioritize areas for spending, we should make them priority. You cannot give less than 4% to a sector out of a total pool of 100% and say you are prioritizing such a sector. It is not a priority, and if you want to make it a priority, we should make it a priority.
Government's Agenda 111 project is expected to provide 101 district hospitals, 6 regional hospitals in the newly created regions, 2 specialized hospitals in the middle and northern belts, as well as a regional hospital in the western region, and renovation of the Fiankwanta Regional Hospital. The finance minister indicated in the budget some funds have been allocated for the project, but the forum argues the budget is not progressive on the project.
If you plan on completing 101 facilities, which includes district hospitals, regional hospitals, and 3 psychiatric hospitals, the question is, where would these resources come from? We also want to know how we are spending the annual budget, the funding amount or allocation. This year, we actually allocated 800 million, but then in actuality, we've only spent 400 million. So where is the rest of the money going?
The CSOs have advised government to backtrack on its decision to export medicines as the local pharmaceutical industry struggles to meet demand.
With government's plan of ensuring that, we have a pharmaceutical company that meets the WHO standard, vis-a-vis this plan of exporting medication, we are asking ourselves, already we are only producing 30% of pharmaceutical products that are needed in the country. Why would you even think of exportation when clearly you have that, that deficiency or that gap?
Away from that story, Bolgatanga Circuit Court on Friday, November 26, remanded 5 persons into police custody until Monday, December 13. The 5 were arrested by police in the Upper East region in connection with the Thursday shooting in Boko. The police and military also retrieved a number of AK-47 assault rifles and ammunition with the suspects.
The suspects were arrested on Thursday, November 25, at various locations in Boko at 10 a.m. The arrests followed various shooting incidents within the Boko township at Singnaba, Sagabo, and Sabongari, attracting a joint military-police attention. The armed men, upon seeing the team, took to their heels at Singnaba. A search in the area found one Abdul Hakim, 27, lying in an uncompleted building, pretending to be unconscious. Found in his left shoes were 12 live rounds of AK-47 assault rifle ammunition. He was sent to the Presbyterian Hospital for examination and treatment, where he became conscious and was arrested. Further patrols in the area led to the arrest of suspect Salifu Yahya, 32, and Musa Awal, 25, with 1 live round of AK-47 assault rifle ammunition. Responding to another shooting incident at 1:35 p.m., this time at Sagabo, near the cemetery, the military arrested Imoro Rahim, 30, and Rauf Haruna, 26. 1 AK-47 assault rifle with 17 ammunitions loaded in a magazine were retrieved from Imoro Rahim. The situation led to a cordon and search exercise at various houses in the community, but no incriminating materials were found. The 5 were later paraded before Bolgatanga Circuit Court on Friday, which remanded them into police custody until Monday, December 13.
Back here in Accra, the police in La are seeking public assistance to trace the whereabouts of 57-year-old Vida Soa. Now, Vida reportedly left their La Bola Junction residence on Wednesday, November 24, and has since not returned. Efforts by both the police and relatives to locate her whereabouts have proved futile. Anyone who sees or knows the whereabouts should please contact the La District Police or the nearest police station. Those volunteering information may also call the police emergency numbers 191 or 18555 to assist. You're watching Midday Live on TV3. My name is Noble Crosby. And let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you more stories. Don't go away.
Environment, state-of-the-art teaching and learning materials, dedicated teachers, small class sizes, and world-class facilities define the excellence at Startright Montessori and Christian College.
It's a very nice school and I really love it.
The Montessori Primary, Junior High School, and senior high school levels offers a world-class educational experience.
Looking to choose a school for your ward? Choose right. Choose soft skills. Choose Start Right.
We also run international programs such as the Cambridge O and A levels. We have boarding facilities as well with spacious dormitories. Locate Start Right Montessori and Christian College on the Start Right Lane off Fanny Road, New Botiano. Call us on 0244 098881 or 0244 522 350 or visit our website at www.scc.edu.gh.
I invite you to bring your ward to Start Right Montessori School and Start Right Christian College.
Start Right Montessori and Christian College, the best world-class education experience in Ghana.
From 1st November to 31st December, TCL is giving away up to 30% discounts on all the appliances.
Switch from this TV to TCL TV.
May switch from this washing to this TCL washing machine.
Let's switch it from this heat to this TCL AC papa.
Run away. May switch it from this old fridge
to this brand new TCL fridge.
May switch it from this bomb phone to this TCL phone.
T-Switches is here to enjoy lots of giveaways and exciting deals in the TCL Feast of Christmas promo. Up to 30% discounts on all TCL appliances from the 1st of November to the 31st of December. Bronya Beye de TCL, the creative life.
I'm in vision to find my African love. See, I get a vision to find my African love. If you're out there, come drop my shit up. If you're out there, I thought you want for the picture.
This Saturday on Music.
I don't know what I would do.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Unsigned Hype.
Yeah, you ready to dance?
Money Mandela.
Now a round of applause for Miss Bell.
Music shows every Saturday at 8 p.m. on TV3. Don't miss it.
Imagine waking up in the middle of the night and your room filled with flood waters, nowhere to run, nowhere to seek shelter. That's the reality of over 2,000 women and children in Keta who have been displaced by the recent tidal waves. We cannot wait for government. We need you. Hand in hand, let's all come together to help these women and children who have been displaced by the recent tidal waves. Please, we appeal to you, our viewers, as always, as you come in to help us, as together with Early Beach Resort, Media General 3 Foundation, we join our hands together with you, our viewers, to help these persons, especially the women and children. Please, come join us. Let's save a life.
Hello and welcome back to the program. Let's bring you more stories. And the Teacher Training Association of Ghana is demanding government pays the allowances which has been in arrears for 6 months. President of TTAG, Abdul Manan Dimbe, says the delay in reopening teacher training institutions, which they attribute to the lack of prompt payment of allowances, is negatively impacting the academic calendar.
The government has an arrear of 6 months to pay teacher trainees. And the information has always been that the money is with controller, but till now we are not yet getting any feedback. There has been a lot of agitation from our constituents, especially our level 400 students who are having their out program segment. But another interesting thing is that the schools were supposed to resume in November 2021, but that has been postponed. And we leadership have seen that it's as a result of the fact that the allowances have not been paid. Mind you, it's from these same allowances that the students are fed. So half of the allowance goes to the principals for feeding, and then half of it goes to the student body. So once the principals will not be able to feed the students, then there's no need for them to come. That means that it's going to affect the whole academic calendar. Our people are actually suffering at this point in time. They are in villages that they are rendering their service to the nation in the form of their out program. So once the government has promised the restoration of the allowances, they should try and then another fulfillment, because things are not actually well for our people.
Now, Chairperson of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism has hinted the House will pass the Ghana Standards Bill this year. Speaking at the 65th Council meeting of the African Organization of Standardization in Accra, Carlos Ahinkra observed the bill, when passed into law, will help harmonize standards and strengthen industry to be competitive in the era of the African Continental Free Trade Area.
The bill replaces the Standards Authority Act 1973, NRCD 173. It is already with Parliament, and stakeholder engagement are to comment soon, according to Chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, Carlos Ahinkra.
A new bill for us to consider and reshape the standards guidelines to actually augment or enhance trading capabilities of Ghanaian products that are going to compete within the AFCFTA.
He indicated a national product quality policy is also in the offing, and entreated the African Organization of Standardization to work hard to harmonize standards across the continent.
As far as AFCFTA is concerned, we're not going to leave any country out, or we're not going to leave any holes within the general supply chain for countries to suffer. And that responsibility for me would lie on the heads of the ASO.
The 65th Council meeting of the African Organization for Standardization is expected to discuss issues such as trade and technical barriers. Secretary General of the organization, Dr. Hemoji Nsengmana, observed these are issues, when addressed, expected to reduce cost of production and respond to the needs of industry and consumers.
Standards are there to help us on 3 key issues. Safety, because you have a mandate to protect your people, your consumers. Secondly is environment issues. Third is the trade. Once you conform, you connect to the market.
And that's it for the business segments. Let's bring you other stories where Professor at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Atinuke Olusola Adebanji, has encouraged women to take up leadership roles in the society and also upgrade themselves with skills. Speaking at the 2021 Women Impactful Award, she noted women who have the potential of becoming great should be given the needed support.
The 2021 Impactful Women Awards was to honor some outstanding women in various fields of endeavor. The award initiative is aimed at identifying and publicizing role models whose accomplishment would motivate and inspire women across the country. Among the awardees were Queen Lodi, Lena Luthrot, Professor Rita Kosia Dixon, Professor Atinuke Olusola Adebanji, Lariba Suwera Abdu, and TV3's Portia Gabo.
Appeal. Let me show you a line of competent ladies, women who can step into into your shoes, who can run this race? Maybe better than we are doing anyways. You never can tell. You know, sometimes when you get up there, you could forget where you passed through or where you're coming from. And then you can become disconnected with those who are still struggling with what you have struggled through. May we never forget.
The convener of the Impactful Women Award, Comrade Barry Ndu, is expecting women to continue initiating ideas for society.
We have set up the Impactful Women Award Hall of Fame, where they are expected to continue initiating ideas for society, where they are expected to continue initiating programs that will better the life of each and every one that they come across. So from now going forward, they have a platform, they will continue to discuss, they will continue to reach out to the less privileged, they continue to reach out to the vulnerable, they continue to reach out to women with breast cancer. This is where we are and this is where we want to be.
This year's edition was on the theme celebrating the passionate commitment of female pacesetters across the globe.
Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, Kelvin Otuansa brings you sports. Stay with us.
Ensure that actually say property fridge there. Ekulu papa. Me fear had property near Mount Quanam use. A son said, Mammy fear how you fend my brabon so you my property.
Mommy, I want ice cream.
So what the fridges, freezers, TVs, air conditioners, washing machine, gas cookers, microwaves, blenders, electric irons, rice cookers.
And in your kahu biara, top up record, property dear, and no major kiki.
Property one use.
Property electronics, papa, entry in Namukania, your fridges no, what are the shame? Ne coolly, a son say, your compressors no, and what dimpa. Ubeni biato, a wagana fanenina, upe biatu ato.
Tony Sack Electronics, SD Karam Dynamo, a dum kumase, a by method is a sorry. Property. Top Papa Preko.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Great.
So get your GoCoder, GoTenna and 1 month of GoTV Plus for only 89 CDs to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Amazing.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season.
Then I hold back.
And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
Sometimes you just know that something ain't going good. You say to yourself, this ain't working for me. There be no shame in that, man.
Like when you don't got it?
Yeah, man, I mean, being smart means knowing when to stop. Know your limit.
So like knowing when to stop? Yeah, makes sense.
If it's not fun, choose to stop.
This advertisement is brought to you by Bet Power.
This week on Mentor X, we are launching into the final lap of the competition. With eviction on the tails of the contestants, they cannot leave any stone unturned. Join us again this Sunday at 8 p.m. as the journey towards discovering the next global icon continues. Keep voting for your favorite contestants by dialing the short code *713*13# or download the TV3 Reality app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store to vote. TV3 Mentor takes you higher. Mentor X is brought to you by Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil and Napa Foods, Sense Body Spray, Club, Better Malt, Tom Vita, Close Up, Geisha, Drugnet,
Cowbell, our milk.
All-white party on the lake. This Christmas, experience the 3FM all-white party on the lake. Yes, this time it's the float edition with great experience whilst we cruise on the Dottie Princess and party hard happening on Boxing Day, 26th December, amidst super exciting activities such as beach soccer, live band, pool party, swimming, jet ski, bonfire, and drink ups. It's an all-night fun party from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Rate a cool 350 Ghana cedis per and 600 Ghana cedis for double. Man, that's so cool for so much fun. A little party never killed anyone. Join us in your all-white attire. Life is a party, dress like it. The all-white party is brought to you by 3FM, Volta Hotel, and Doddy World.
For reservation, please call 0546 063 747 or 0558 167 221. Sponsored by Johanni Auto Cooling Center.
All-white party on the lake.
It's always an exciting moment when these ladies meet. They put away their differences to bring you closer to everything you need to know.
You don't need a visa to Singapore. You don't have to break the budget to look good. I don't like the saying, dress how you want to be addressed, but it does carry some weight.
So you have the dress and you want to shorten the length of it, you just do it by yourself.
For interior, you have to first consider who you are.
To share my story, make the fibroid conversation a normal one.
In their craziest moments, they forget they're on live television. Realness, humor, intelligence, positive vibes are your weekend package. Join Anita Ekufu, Sika Osei, Miss Flavor, and Helen Apia Ampofo on the Ladies Circle every Saturday, 6 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by
Yaz Sanitary Pad, Vodafone, GTP, still timeless.
Woodin.
Good afternoon. Let's have some sports on Better Life. My name is Kelvin Owusu-Ansah. The Confederation of Africa Football's General Assembly in Cairo ratified its support for FIFA's proposal of a World Cup every 2 years. The African body has voted to support FIFA's plans for a biennial World Cup at the CAF General Assembly, which was held in Cairo on Friday.
Welcomes the FIFA Congress decision to conduct a feasibility study on having men's and women's World Cup every 2 years. 2. If the FIFA study concludes that it is feasible, CAF will fully support hosting the men's and women's World Cup every 2 years. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Can those who are in support of this resolution raise your green cards, please? Thank you so much. I see wonderful green cards. Can those who are against it raise your red card? Thank you. No red card. Anybody who abstains, a yellow card? Thank you so much. I asked the scrutineers, I imagine that they've been monitoring the process, but the resolution has been adopted unanimously. Can we clap hands, please? Thanks.
So as CAF has validated the resolution to support the FIFA World Cup to be played every 2 years at the Extraordinary Assembly in Cairo in Egypt, FIFA President Gianni Infantino says opponents of the plans are afraid of change.
The debate, and obviously as well, and that's natural and understandable, those who are against are those who are at the top. It happens in every sector of life. When there are reforms and changes, those who are at the top, they don't want anything to change because they are at the top. And they are afraid maybe that if something changes, their leadership position is at risk. We understand that. And we compliment and applaud them for having been so successful in reaching the top. This is fantastic, and they are an example for everyone. But at the same time, we cannot close the door. We need to keep the door open. We need to give hope. We need to give opportunities to the entire world.
Away from CAF and FIFA, let's drop to Ghana. The Ghana Premier League match week 5 began yesterday as the Diana Stars returned to winning ways with 3 crucial points after defeating Legon Cities FC 1-0 in Accra on Friday afternoon. The team from Doma played as guests to the capital-based outfit at the Accra Sports Stadium to battle for points on match day 5 of the 2021-2022 Ghana Premier League season. In the tough encounter that ensued between the two clubs, the visitors had the upper hand at the end of the first 45 minutes. Yaya Mohammed's solitary goal was enough to separate the two sides with a spectacular effort from a direct free kick in the 27th minute. His ferocious hit flew straight into the back of the net of Legon Cities FC, with the goalkeeper shocked to his bones.
Now here is Emmanuel Jemfi. Brought down. Let's see whether
Well, that's it for Sports on Midday Live. My name is Kelvin Oswanta. Noble.
Kelvin, good to see you. I'm concerned about the biennial World Cup. What does Africa stand to gain from this?
Well, that's the problem, and CAF and FIFA are failing to let us know what benefits stand out for Africa. Let's not forget, we are far behind developing our game with regards to infrastructure, even our players, and too much loaded calendar for our African stars who are even being denied of coming to Africa. Just about 3 days ago, we had an altercation between Ujora Babatunde and the Jugend Club, who spoke about the little tournament. So there's too much disrespect for Africa until we develop our game to a certain level. I don't think we need the World Cup every 2 years, despite the opportunities it has for a lot of players.
Let's see how the lobbying goes, whether we'll have it or not. Thank you, Kelvin Osensa, for bringing this sports. Let's bring you the latest in entertainment after this. In entertainment news, organizers of the annual Ghana DJ Awards have held a workshop dubbed the Ghana DJ Clinic to educate and empower female disc jockeys to venture into the male-dominated profession. Founder of the DJ Awards scheme, Mercury Okwei, envisages the number of female disc jockeys to rise from 6% to 35% by 2025.
We need to invest in our brand. You need to invest in what you want people or society to remember you for.
The seminar gave participants an overview of essential DJ skills, brand positioning, how to attract sponsorship, and social media marketing. Sessions were facilitated by brand experts, talent managers, and media professionals, including George Britton, broadcast journalist Doreen Avio, and the commercial manager for 3 Music, Edward Owusu.
For us, it was important to identify your audiences, where they hang out, what they do, in order to be able to communicate and connect with them properly. We hardly have these conversations around affirmative action and all of these, and I think it's a great initiative that Mercury has taken, and I'm hoping that next year will be much bigger.
I'm looking to have a woman who can stand and say that even if there's no job, this is what I can use to make money to take care of myself or my family. You don't have to go out there to go and chase a man to make money or eat. There are different ways we can make money, and for me, I am pushing to make this brand a respected one and one that can also put Ghana on the map.
The seminar was sponsored by the Swiss Embassy in Ghana. Ambassador Philip Stalder expects participants to take full advantage of the opportunity to launch their career to the next level.
I see so many talents in all spheres of life in Ghana, so I'm sure also in the world of the DJs, I'm convinced Ghana can make a good contribution.
Excited about the great learning experience, participants pledged to make good use of the knowledge acquired. Mercury is the founder of the Ghana DJ Awards.
So now it stands at 6% to 94%, which is very discouraging, which is discombobulating. However, we are looking at bridging the gap. Hopefully by 2022, we should be able to have something around 20 and 80. And in 5 years from now, we hope to further bridge the gap and have about 35, 65. So basically, this is what we are working towards.
Well, before we go, let's bring you this. On countries around the world are racing to introduce travel bans and restrictions on South African countries in an effort to contain a new variant of COVID-19 called Omicron. And that's it. By way of Midday Live, we came to you from our news studios here at Addis Ababa, Kanda in Accra. We're live also on DSTV channel 279. My name is Noble Crosby, and it's been a pleasure serving you. Enjoy the afternoon. Bye-bye.
This program is rated U. It contains no scene, action or dialogue that could be construed as disturbing, harmful or offensive. It is suitable for all ages.